Council meeting tonight, Tuesday, May 16th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. Wow, it's great to see all these citizens here and not be able to find a parking spot at City Hall. If we had this kind of turnout every day, it'd be great. Tonight we have Reverend Blanks will lead us with New Era Baptist Church located on Highway 90 here in Gautier. It is one of our historical structures also here in the city of Gautier. He will say the prayer, and also Councilman Jackson of Ward 2 will say the pledge, and I ask that you please silence all your cell phones and electronic devices, and please stand.
Father God, we truly thank you that we approach your throne of grace. We come, O God, Father, and now that you thought out about us, that we ask for your guidance and trust your Holy Spirit. We continue to move forward, Heavenly Father, as we come together for the good and the betterment of the city of Gautier, Heavenly Father. God, the mayor and the council, Heavenly Father, we help prosper the city, and we can do the things you call us to do. As we assemble here tonight, O God, Father, allow your spirit to lead each and every one, O God, Father. We do things in decent order, everything be pleasing to you. In Jesus' name we pray and ask. Amen.
Amen. I prepare for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson, and thank you, Reverend Blanks. That brings us to our city manager is also not here. She has a family matter she is tending to. So our planning director is the assistant city manager, and she has appointed him to fill in tonight on her behalf. So Mr. Ankerson, we appreciate you and all you do and for stepping up. With that, do we have, Mr. Ankerson, any agenda changes?
Yes, Mayor, we have two added announcements. Number one, Tasty Thursday will be May 25th, 2023. And also, the offices will be closed Monday, May 29th, in observance of Memorial Day. We also want to pull business agenda item number one, approval of supplemental agreement number 2, the professional services agreement with Seymour Engineering for work associated with Jackson County Animal Shelter Water Distribution System.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other changes by council? Do we have a motion to approve the agenda with changes?
Go ahead. So move.
We got a motion by Councilman Jackson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Gillard. All in favor? Motion carries. Also, Councilman Anderson is not in attendance. He had messaged me earlier. He's having to pick his wife up who had been out of town out of the airport. So he is not able to be here this evening. So he did notify you all. That brings us to our announcements by our interim city manager, Mr. Scott Ankerson.
Yes, Mayor. Announcement number one, American Legion Post 1992 family will host a Memorial Day Avenue of Flag ceremony on May 29th, starting at 11 a.m. at the Veterans Tribute Tower. 2, Gautier's Farmers Market will be held the second Saturday of every month from May through September, starting at 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. at George Martin City Park. 3, Tasty Thursday will be May 25th, starting at 11 a.m. at the former Singing River Mall property. 4, the Old School Tutoring and Toys and Gautier's Recreation Team will host Wacky Wednesdays, a weekly half-day summer camp starting every Wednesday on June 7th through July 12th from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at Gautier's Indoor Sportsplex. 5, Gautier Movie Night featuring Top Gun Maverick will be June 9th, starting at 8 p.m. at the former Singing River Mall property. 6, Family Playgroup will begin Tuesday, June 13th from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. at Baco Park. And 7, the offices will be closed Monday, May 29th in observance of Memorial Day.
Tasty Thursday was 7.
I'm sorry?
Tasty Thursday was 7, and Memorial Day closure was 8.
Sorry. Apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Ankerson. That brings us to our presentation agenda. This evening we have several proclamations we will be presenting. The first one will be Motorcycle Awareness Month. So if you had come to the front, the Gautier Police Department, Motorcycle Officers Traffic Division, if you all will come, and also the American Legion Riders, if you will come to the front.
One was an accident yesterday, so we don't get that.
Legion on one side.
Leave it on one side.
Unfortunately, one of our officers was in an accident, a motorcycle accident, was not able to be here this evening. So we're gonna have Captain Almond, since he used to ride one of those fine motorcycles we have, old ones, and he did test drive the new ones, let him stand up here with our police officer. This is a proclamation recognizing Motorcycle Awareness Month, whereas the members of Goldwing Road Riders Association Motorist Awareness Program, known as MAP, of Mississippi and other organizations continually to promote motorcycle safety, education, and other awareness programs to the general public and to the motorist community of Mississippi. And whereas motorcycle riding is a popular form of recreation and transportation of people across the state and nation. And whereas it is crucial that citizens of our city and state be aware of motorcycles on the roadways and recognize the importance of motorcycle safety. And whereas the Motorcyclists of Mississippi has contributed countless volunteer hours to their communities. And whereas all motorists should join GWRRA MAP of Mississippi in actively promoting the safe operations of motorcycles, as well as promoting motorcycle safety, education, and awareness. And now therefore, we, Mayor and Council of the City of Gautier, Mississippi, do here proclaim May 2023 as Motorcycle Awareness Month and encourage motorcycle awareness and safe monitoring for all. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set the hands for cause the seal of the City of Gautier, Mississippi to be affixed of this, the 16th day of May 2023, Mayor Casey Vaughn. So we thank all of you. It's important that we educate ourselves about motorcycles. As you heard, we do have a lot of accidents across the state, the nation, and we just want you all to be aware. And also, we thank all of you for what y'all do. I invited the American Legion Riders here because they do a lot of volunteerism in our community, and we appreciate all y'all do, and I think it's a great for y'all to be recognized in a public meeting and a forum so everybody could get to know the American Rider Legion. So would you like to say something on behalf of the American Legion Riders?
On behalf of the riders, we try to do everything we can to help the city out, along with the veterans and the city itself. And Motorcycle Awareness Month, just please watch out for us.
Thank you, thank you. And also, Officer Shipman, do you have anything you would like to say? Watch out for us. If you've not noticed, you know, we have seen a lot in between the bridges on the highway on their motorcycles. So remember to merge over when the officer has somebody pulled over for their safety and the safety of the person they have on the side of the road. Would the board council stand up behind so we can get a photo? And Josh, you want to get in, and she, whoever you want to get in.
Squeeze. You have to squeeze in again.
Way down.
Squeeze.
I might be like it down.
Yeah, we might have to double up when you get a sign.
Yeah, you can.
Thank you, Sam. Thank y'all again. Next will be Kids to Park Day. National Proclamation is our Parks and Rec Director, Chastity Bildo.
Graduation.
Oh, it's graduation. Is anybody from the Parks and Rec Department here? Who would like, Captain Almond, do you want to receive this on behalf of Parks and Rec? You used to volunteer to do parks and work in that department
Years ago, yes.
Yes, see, look, Captain Almond has journeyed all the way up to the high ranks. Proclaiming May 20th, 2023 as Kids to Park Day in the city of Gautier, Mississippi. Whereas May 20th, 2023 is the 13th annual Kids to Parks Day organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the third Saturday of May. And whereas Kids to Parks Day empowers kids and encourages families to get outdoors and visit America's parks. And whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat the issues of childhood obesity and other illnesses. And whereas Kids to Parks Day is open to all children and adults across the country to encourage a large and diverse group of participants. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and outdoors. And now therefore, we, Casey Vaughn, Mayor and Council of the City of Gautier, Mississippi, do hereby proclaim May 20th, 2023 as Kids to Park Day. That's this Saturday, if you did not know, in the city of Gautier, Mississippi, and hereby encourage residents to make time to take their children and lives to a neighborhood, state, or national park, and witness whereof I hereby and to set my hand and cause the city of Gautier City, Mississippi, to be affixed on this, the 16th day of May 2023. Casey Vaughn, Mayor, City of Gautier. Thank you so much, and we will stand up forward and get a photo with us. Parks and Rec will love this.
Stick around, we got another one for you.
We could get a picture with them next meeting. Gonna confuse everybody.
We will get it. For y'all, our Parks and Rec director, she's got twin boys, and they are graduating from Bankley High School, so that is why she is not here this evening. And I'm sure her staff is attending their graduation because they are just like a close-knit family in that department. So, City of Gautier Proclamation. Now I invite our police officers up and our police chief up and any of their support team, their admin, we ask you all to come up.
Good thing we didn't host a reception for each proclamation.
They had to stand outside so we were at the right capacity. We did not want the fire chief getting on to us. City of Gautier Proclamation. A proclamation designating this week, May 14th through May 20th, as International Police Week. Whereas Congress and President of the United States has designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15th falls, dedicated as National Police Week. And whereas the City of Gautier's Police Department plays an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the City of Gautier. And whereas officers of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception. And whereas the officers of the Gautier Police Department provide this vital public service. And now therefore, we, Mayor and Gautier City Council of the City of Gautier, Mississippi, do hereby designate May 14th through May 2023 as International Police Week. And witness whereof we have hereunto set our hands and cause the seal of the City of Gautier, Mississippi, to be affixed on this, the 16th day of May 2023. Mayor Casey Vaughn, City of Gautier, Mississippi. You know, they go above and beyond. I can't say enough. We all know in times like we live today, this career is not one that everybody is jumping in the hoops to get in. It's a struggle for us to find public safety, and as the fire chief is trying to, interact, they got a competition going on. So I just want to thank all of you, but more than thanking them, we got to thank their family, their spouses, their mothers, their fathers, their children. Thank them for allowing them to serve our community, because I feel safe in the City of Gautier. We're blessed for you, Chief, and all your officers. There's not a day goes by I do not feel safe in the city of Gautier, thanks to all of you and your support team and staff. Is everything perfect? No. They have challenges every day, but they come here, they put a smile on their face, and they're here to serve the citizens of Gautier. So we thank all of you once again.
I'm just stay standing.
Some of the officers want to go up with them.
Big guys. Big guys.
Got to blend in.
He needs to get back on
The chief just gave me $1,000 not to do the next one, so we're. Chief Latch and the Gautier Fire Department and the admin staff of them, please come forward. I think we have all the firefighters out in the lobby. They've all been working to make sure we're in compliance. Good. Welcome back. Good to see you. Good to have you back. City of Gautier Proclamation, a proclamation recognizing International Firefighters Day. Whereas the City of Gautier is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting the City of Gautier. And whereas the City of Gautier's firefighters are vital to our public safety network, and they tirelessly to protect lives and property through fire response, medical emergencies, and fire prevention. And whereas to keep our communities safe, firefighters also offer safety education and prevention strategies to the general public. And whereas despite the risk associated with their job, firefighters work around the clock to ensure the safety and well-being of Gautier citizens. And in the city of Gautier, that is a 24-hour shift. Now, therefore, we, Mayor and Council of the City of Gautier, Mississippi, do hereby recognize and proclaim May 4th, 2023 as International Firefighters Day. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of the City of Gautier, Mississippi to be affixed on the 16th day of May, 2023, Mayor Casey Vaughn, City of Gautier. So, thank all of you. Once again, Chief Hutch and the firefighters here, we thank all of you for your hard work and dedication. No one public safety department is more demand than the other. They go hand in hand. They work together as a team, even though, you see, we got a little friendly rivalry going on. They work hand in hand as a team. Our dispatchers over in the police department look out for the safety of both departments. When our firefighters are on the scene, and I've witnessed it myself when I'm out there with them, our police officers are there to assist in anything they might need help with if they need it. The same being from their, the fire department assisting the police. So it's great to see them work together, and we're blessed in Gautier again to have a wonderful group of firefighters. And just like the police department, everybody is not dying and rushing to be firefighters in any community. It is a hard career to fill. And so if the Lord leads you to be a firefighter, we ask that you reach out to Chief Latch so he can show you around. And if you want to go to the academy or join our team, just like the same with the fire police chief, I encourage you to reach out if you're interested in that field. They both are in high demand, needing employees all over. So once again, thank you. Chief Latch. Okay. Council. One more.
You gotta come back and then one after.
Oh, Captain Latch, he's not, Captain Almond's not done in the police industry. He's gonna come, Chief Latch, and join your team. That's after he retires. He can volunteer. Okay, that brings us to our business at, number 5. I'm sorry, we have a presentation by another organization, Citizens for United Gautier. If you will come to the podium and address the board.
My name is David Pittman. Do my 3028 Mary Walker Drive.
Okay, you might have to talk up there because
Oh,
people
okay.
are having a hard time.
My name is David Pittman, 3028 Mary Walker Drive, Gautier, Mississippi. So this was in response to Councilman Anderson's Facebook post. But he's not here, so I'll go ahead and carry on. First of all, thank you, Honorable Mayor and Honorable City Council, and Honorable citizens of Gautier, Mississippi. Thank you. In response to Councilman Anderson alleging that his Facebook account was hacked, there are many questions that come to mind. However, one of the main questions is, if his Facebook account was hacked, was his email account that is attached to his Facebook account also hacked? If we were to place this entire episode of his Facebook account being hacked into a proper logical perspective, we would have to assume that his email was hacked. But why would we have to assume such? It is because in order for his account with any app or any app, social media app that we register with, we have to have an email account, specifically Facebook. We have to have an email account attached to it. Another reason to assume such is that hackers are not only concerned with hacking Facebook accounts, but their main concern is hacking your email account, because the email account contains the relevant information they need to steal our identities and all of our financial banking information, credit card profiles, and passwords to other accounts, especially if this is your primary email account. His claim that someone in the Laurel area hacked his account. But what comes to mind is that if someone logged into his Facebook account, especially from an unrecognizable device, you would receive a message from Facebook that looks like this. Can I hand this to you?
It's short around.
Yes. You would receive a message like this.
I've seen it.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I've seen it.
Yep. I've got it before.
Yes, sir. And also, the message asks, was this you?
Yep.
That's what the message asks. Was this you? Now, if Mr. Anderson did not log into Facebook, his answer would have to be that this wasn't me. Am I right?
Yes.
The question is, what did he answer? If he said, well, I never received it. I never received that message. Well, if it's not in your Facebook notification history, on a laptop or a PC, you can scroll down endlessly to that particular date and find time and find that notification. But just say, well, it wasn't in his Facebook notification. Well, guess what? It would be in his email. This is what the notifications look like that Facebook sends you in an email. Whenever someone logs into your account from an area that is unknown. Everybody receives it. Everybody has an email that is attached to their Facebook account. That's right. If he says, well, the hackers hacked the email account that was connected to the Facebook account and they never returned the email account to me, then we would have to ask, did they steal anything? Such as your banking information, or your identity information, or any passwords from the other apps that are connected to that same email address. And we would also have to ask, if they did not return your email account, how is it that you still have access to your Facebook account? Because when they change the password, they change it
Mr. Pittman.
from
you
your
have
email
to
account.
Present to the board.
I'm sorry. They change it from your email account. So, another thing, another fact regarding this issue is that anytime someone logs into your email account from an unrecognized or a recognized device, and I'm sure the police know this, especially from a Google account, you are going to receive a message like this from a recognized or unrecognized device. Anytime you get a new phone from Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and you log into your account with that new phone, this is what you're going to receive. And it's also going to tell you the location. And like Facebook, it's going to ask, are you trying to sign in? And if it's not you, then you're going to automatically say, no, don't allow. Don't allow. So the question is, if Councilman Anderson's Facebook account was hacked, was your email account hacked also? And you have to ask yourself the question, what is the goal of a hacker? Is the goal of a hacker just to get your page and make a statement, a racist statement?
No.
And then give you your account back?
No.
They don't care about that. This is how these people make their livings. They make a living off of hacking people's account and stealing their personal information. This has been all over the news. They have a lot of ways that they steal your personal information, but when they get your email address, specifically your Google email address, most of your credit card information is attached to that. Another thing I wanted to mention, I actually wanted to do a demonstration, but I'm not going to take up much time. When you log into your Facebook account and you're not hooked up to Wi-Fi, and your location is not on, and sometimes you can be hooked up to Wi-Fi and your location is not on, you can actually be in Gautier, and Facebook will send you a message like this message I received. I was in Gautier when I logged in, and it said that I was near Ball, Louisiana. I've never heard of Ball, Louisiana.
That's right.
So I looked it up on Google. That's close to 5 hours away from here. But I'm physically in Gautier. So I logged in when I went to Biloxi and went to D'Iberville. It said the same thing. One time I logged in Mobile, it put me in Atlanta. But I wasn't actually in Atlanta, I was actually in Mobile, Alabama. So the question is, does Mr. Anderson have this information from that particular day that he claimed he was hacked? And if his email was hacked, he would have to have this information also, which can be obtained from his records on both Facebook and Google. And I want to close with this right here. Google, they have an AI that they call Bard. And Bard is fed a massive amount of data and information. Just recently, they gave Bard a command or a program in the Bangladesh language. And Bard had never been given a program in the Bangladesh language. The AI didn't even know Bangladesh, but it was able to carry out the command. So Google allowed me to try Bard, and I asked Bard, when I log into Facebook, I receive a notification stating that I'm logged in from a location that I'm not actually in. For instance, if I'm physically in Biloxi, Mississippi, and logged into Facebook, the notification from Facebook will say something to the extent that someone has logged into my account in Ball, Louisiana. Why does this happen? And this is what Bard answered. He says, or it says, because it's an AI, it's not a human, there are a few possible reasons why you might receive a notification from Facebook stating that you have logged in from a location that you are not actually in. You are using a proxy server. A proxy server is a server that acts as an intermediary between your computer and the internet. This can be used to hide your IP address and location. Now check this out. But it can also lead Facebook to thinking that you are logging in from different locations. So Mr. Anderson alleged that he was here in Gautier, but someone, I believe it was in Laurel, logged into his account. But yet, he can't produce any of these. And then not only that, when you log in from a proxy server, Facebook is thinking that you're in a different location. You say, well, what about if he logs into a VPN, Mr. Pittman? The same case. It says you are using a VPN or a virtual private network. It's a service that encrypts your traffic and routes it through a server in another location. This can be used to protect your privacy and security, but it can also lead to Facebook thinking that you are logging in from a different location. So I close with this right here. Mississippi does not have a law where we can, or where the city council, or the honorable city council, can force someone to resign that doesn't actually respect or represent the people of his ward or the city. But we would hope that Mr. Anderson would do the right thing. Gautier is a growing city, and in 10 to 15 years from now, if God blesses us all to live, Gautier will become even better and even bigger. And we want representation for the people, by the people.
But not racist.
Hold on.
Right.
No, but this is a presentation and nobody else is to speak during that time.
So that's what we're looking for. And I thank everybody for allowing me this time. May God bless, God, and protect you all. Gautier strong.
Thank you, Mr. Pittman.
To the city council, to the mayor, to all citizens of Gautier, Pastor Morris Hudson, 3313 Shamrock Court, 2724 Cali Deep Hermosa. Before I get started, I'd like to thank the Gautier Police Department. I am a fan of the Gautier Police Department. They sit at my church a lot of times, and I don't want to get nobody in any trouble, but they do sit at my church. They do patrol Shamrock Court. So again, I do thank God, and I tell them on my job, you go through Gautier flying, they're going to get you. And I do thank God for the Gautier PD. I have them on speed dial, so they know my number by heart. But we're here tonight to take care of a serious matter. I want to start this off, and again, I do honor all of you. The Bible tells us to honor those that labor among us. But Rusty is a former colleague of mine, and I want to address him and also the city council. And we're going to do it as humbly and professionally as we know how. And I want to start off with a Bible verse that said, this is the, and we all claim to be Christians. This is our motto. We all claim to be the proverbial Christian, but it says here, this is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the laws of the prophet. So Rusty, Mr. Anderson claimed to be a Christian. But we're here tonight to address a very serious matter. And when you look around, Gautier's diversity is his strength. Look around you. I want everybody to look around you. Nobody is better or greater than we make the city of Gautier. I'm a 33 years citizen of Gautier. Been in Gautier 33 years. Some of y'all weren't even born then. For 33 years I've been in Gautier. But we're here tonight to address a very serious matter. And so what might be serious to some might not be serious to others. And I know we hear the term, let's move forward. But I'm here to stand to you tonight, we can't move forward until we address the matter at hand, and that's Rusty Anderson. I hope you do the right thing and resign. because we can't move forward. Yes, I like what I see tonight. I love the progress of the city. All that's good and dandy, but we have an element in the city that's hurting us. And I've been taught by old lady, you can sweep trash under the rug, but we know it's still there. But just who is Rusty Anderson? Based on his Facebook post, he's a very harsh and undisciplined person. Rusty has radical, and I'll say racist, extremist views against people that don't look like him. I'm asking all of y'all, both black and white, to have compassion, because until we can understand both sides of the aisle, we'll just kind of dismiss this. Oh, they need to go somewhere and sit down. But we can't, because the diversity means a lot. But it goes to say, let's remember, we didn't create this fight. He did. We did not create what's going on in the life of Rusty. Rusty did this, and so constitutionally, Rusty has a right to believe how he wants. He had that constitutional right. And also remember this, we have that constitutional right also. So both sides of the aisle have a constitutional right. So we're here tonight defending our constitutional right to speak publicly about a public official that says some derogatory things. And again, before I end it, it's not going to be too long. I want to show you, he's denying, but I want to show you some things that Rusty posted that he cannot deny. And I'm going to say this plainly, Rusty don't like people like me. Pastor Jackson, Brother Jackson. Dante, he don't like people like you. Casey, he don't like people like you. And I can say that unequivocally because I am a former colleague of his. And he covered it up really good over the years. One of Rusty's political idols and associates is Chris McDaniel from Laurel, Jones County, known as a white nationalist. Current Republicans have rejected McDaniel, saying he's bad for Mississippi. I say tonight, Rusty is bad for Gautier. Rusty Anderson's racist action over time will eventually cost this city millions of dollars and hurt many others. If he loved the city as he claimed, he would take ownership of his action and apologize and resign. And before I read my closing scripture, I have a display of the thing Rusty posted. He cannot deny this. Vitriol and hateful incendiary remarks is not good. You can be an independent, you can be a liberal, you can be a Democrat, you can be a moderate, you can be all of that, but you don't have to be hateful. We can have our differences, but we should have respect. This is the stuff come off Rusty page. He can't deny this. So this shows, if in the court of law, this would show a pattern of behavior. This is, look at Chris McDaniel. I'm just, again, we're not being mean. We just open the eyes of your colleague. This is the stuff that he posts. Well, the mayor said.
Well, you can set it, but when we have presentation agendas, it's to the board to make action or present something to us. That's why it's like that.
But again, I just wanted to display, and this come off Rusty's page. Yes, he denied his derogatory statement about the people of color, but this was done back, it said Rusty Anderson, October 20, 2021. Mommy, is that a man or a woman? No, it's a Democrat, honey. He, the current administrator. And I say this, you don't never have to respect the person, but you respect the office. You don't have to like Casey, but you respect the mayor. Amen. Casey and I, we get into it. Tell him, Casey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pastor Hudson. And Pastor Hudson wakes you up in the middle of the night.
I will. I got his number on speed dial. And right here, from the infamous Chris McDaniel, who he reposted. I'm just telling who I am. I don't connect with certain people on Facebook if they will cause me public shame. But he reposted something from Chris McDaniel. If you look at to lay somebody off, lay these people off right here. Come on, I mean, you mean to tell me you that hateful that you would like to take food off somebody's table in a time like this? This is the person he is. And I said, who is Rusty? Do we really know who he is? And I'm gonna say this. Rusty's firebrand temper got him, his temperament got him into the situation he's in now. If he's a professional and sit amongst us as leaders in the city receiving tax dollars, he has to be held accountable. I don't think it's fair to me that I pay my taxes and he receive a salary and he don't think I'm a decent person. I believe Red, I'm a veteran. I was in the military from 1987 up until 2000, 75th Combat Support Hospital. I've been working all of my life. Nobody never gave me nothing. I met all the city requirements to build a facility in the city, met all the codes. And so when the officers know, they said, that's my church, and they watch and they patrol. So why should I be bothered up in his hateful tirade? But his tirade is what got him in the position that he's in. Eventually, he gonna hurt the city. And whether you like him or dislike him, that has nothing to do with it. What it has to do with is doing the right thing. You are a hypocrite if you sit up here and portray to be this loving guy for this great city, and yet you go home and get within your inner circle and rag people like Dante, Casey, and Councilman Jackson. I'm not leaving you out, Adam, but knowing you a long time, you helped me with the water thing. You remember? You helped me with the water thing. I fought y'all before, but then you the mayor, I fought y'all then. But we overcame it. And we got the water down. All I'm saying is, we just here tonight to represent the voice of the city, a great city, a city that's unified. So I want to close this. It says, I beseech you, brethren, to know them which are labeled among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you. So we should know the people that we work around. We should know them. And I wanted to show some things that Rusty has been posting. There's a lot of other stuff he posted, but one needs to be capturing all that. This before he said he closed his page, but I had already got all that stuff. But I just want you to know this is the stuff Rusty posts on Facebook. He attacked his political and non-cultural opponents. That's the type of person he is. So whatever masquerade he parades in front of you, that's not really him. He don't like you. He only like those that's within his circle. I thank the council for your time. May the citizens negotiate. We go strong together because united we stand. Divided we will fall.
Thank you. Okay. That will bring us to our business agenda. Our business agenda item number 1 was pulled, so that will bring us to our business agenda item number 2. Consideration for abatement at 1301 Roy's Road in Gautier, Mississippi, 39553. By our planning director and interim city manager, Mr. Scott Engel.
Thank you, Mayor. I was going to report that I got a report today that we went before the meeting from our code enforcement officer of that area that the homeowner property owner has completed the list of everything that we asked them to do to clean up the property. So at this time, no council action is needed.
On the 1301?
Yes, sir.
Wait, we can hear what he's saying.
He's saying they reported that everything has been brought up to code at this time, so no action. The property's been cleaned up and everything up to the city ordinance at this current time.
Let me be a little more specific. the safety hazards have been mitigated, so there's no need for the abatement. There are still open code enforcement issues that have been handled through the court system. There's just no need for this abatement, no need for council action to approve the abatement.
You want to stand up, Scott, and say it louder? They cannot. None of them hear you.
I'm sorry.
Do we come back to the front like?
Not right now. Not right now. We're hearing from him, so you're going to hear what he has to say. And then we'll have public comments because obviously it was on here. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this abatement was for code enforcement to mitigate any immediate safety hazards on the property, such things as cleaning up the property for things like attractive nuisance for children, things like that. The property has been cleaned up, it's been reported to me today. To the extent that this abatement is not necessary, it does not mean there aren't open code enforcement issues still on the property that will be still handled through the code enforcement department through our court system.
Who did the evaluation?
Sir, it's not your time to speak. When I ask for citizen comments, I will say, and you will have 3 minutes to state your name and address. But right now, Mr. Ankerson's speaking. Is that all you have, Mr. Ankerson?
That's all I have.
Mr. Dennis, can we not go on through with this in case it gets to this again so we don't have to waste taxpayer dollars advertising and it stay on the book for a year like we've done in the past?
Well, I think what you'd have to find is that there's a menace or a danger to the health and safety of the citizens. And if Mr. Anderson's representing that's not the case, then I don't think there's anything that you wouldn't have a basis for abatement. I don't know the status of the property is.
All them walls inside, everything?
Well, I think what he's saying is those criteria that was necessary for an actual abatement itself, those items have been addressed. There's still code enforcement items that still need to be handled, but that's not part of the abatement process. It's going to be handled through our code enforcement and the courts system to make sure they get brought up to current standards by either fines, even imprisonment, but things of that nature to make sure that they bring that property up to UDO requirements in the city of Gautier.
That's correct. Just that those items don't necessarily, in the opinion of code, affect the health and safety and welfare of the citizens.
And I understand, but like that one on Dolphin in the past, it was all brought clean and like this, but we still voted on it. So if it got in that shape, they went back and mowed or did something within a 12-month period. I mean, we did it on the Dolphin Road abatement. That's why I was asking about that.
That was after it was fully up to...
Yes, it was fully, everything done, and we still went through with it.
Okay.
I mean, just so it did not happen again. But if you're saying we cannot, then you're our legal counsel. So you're the attorney that represents the city.
To move forward with an abatement or to impose an abatement on a property like this, you have to have a finding of fact that health, safety, welfare of the citizens is impacted. And here, it's not. I mean, I would recall several situations where folks were...
Is Miss Casey in this room? Miss Casey, are you listening to all this?
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want it back on this agenda while I'm here.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the stuff, we can't take action tonight on it, is what they're saying. And you see all these people out here? Everybody that lives in this neighborhood, raise your hand. Don't speak. I'm the speaker. All these are your neighbors. I passed your house 1,000,000 times. It was awful. I don't want to see it back before me and this city council again. Judge St. Pay can take care of the rest, and I assure you she will. So get it cleaned up and get the riffraff out of Roy's Road neighborhood. Okay. Now.
Would we, I understand that the code enforcement inspector, do we want to just double check it every single thing that was on the list was taken care of by way of tabling it? I would suggest that we table it for...
You can table it until the next meeting, and then that way they can come back with and show you what was done and what wasn't.
That's what I'd like. I'd like to get pictures before and after of those items that were addressed. So that way we can, on the council, can ascertain that it actually was taken care of.
No problem.
So
Yes, sir.
we want
Whatever the attorney said, we
Well, we
can't,
can
so if
table
we're
it.
gonna table it, make a motion.
yeah, I'll make a motion that we table the consideration for abatement of 1301 Roy's Road, Gautier, Mississippi, until the next council meeting being June 6, 2023.
You can't do citizen comments, because we're not taking action, Ms. Scruggs.
Second.
We got a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Gilat. Any discussion, starting with Councilman Elvin?
No discussion.
Councilman College?
We will make sure that everything was addressed at this next meeting, and if that's not the case, then we will proceed with the abatement.
Ms. Gilat? To Ms., you can let Ms. Scruggs know she can speak at citizen comments. Yeah, okay. Councilman Gilat? Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman George?
No comment.
We have a motion, a second. Before I vote on this, I just want the Roy's Road community to know, I got told about this just like when y'all heard this. So had we known ahead of time, we might could have let you know. Unfortunately, I didn't even know. But secondly, we do not accept what's been going on in your neighborhood, and the code enforcement is going to make sure every property in your neighborhood is up to code, so no more stuff is going on out there. Our police department has been in there, as you well know, and arrests have been made, and they are committed to the safety of your neighborhood. So just know this is not the only property that has code violations that is in our system. So with that being said, I wanted to reiterate that to y'all. And then anybody that wanted to comment about your neighborhood issue or anything, you can, at citizen comment, since this was tabled, you can make a comment at that time. We have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Gilat. All in favor? Motion carries. That brings us to business agenda item number 3, consider a request for a variance to the front yard setback requirements for an addition in an R1 low-density, single-family residential zoning district 7310 Melody Drive, GPC number 23-17-VAR. The planning director is gonna present it, and then you can. Go ahead, Ms. Ray.
So, Mayor, the planning department has received this request from...
Please, everybody, we gotta, only Mr. Ankerson speaking at this time. Only Mr. Ankerson speaking at this time. If we continue to have noise back there, we're gonna have to shut the door so the people who are not able to come are not gonna be able to come in. Go ahead, Mr. Ankerson.
The planning department has received this request from Austin Mildren for an 11-foot, 7-inch front yard variance for an addition in an R1 low-density, single-family residential zoning district at 7310 Melody Drive, parcel ID number 87116051000. The application fee of $175 was paid on March 29, 2023, and all public notice requirements have been met. Some background on the property: the applicant would like to build this addition to the front of his home that would begin 13 feet 5 inches from the front property line. We would need an 11-foot 7-inch variance for front yard setback requirements for this. I've also included in your packet the criteria for approval for a variance. And upon hearing this case, the Planning Commission recommends that the City Council approve the request as presented, as it meets all criteria for approval from the Unified Development Ordinance. The City Council may approve the variance as presented, approve the variance with changes, or deny the variance. And I've also included the minutes from that meeting along with the complete packet.
Thank you, Mr. Ankerson. Do we have any public comments on the consideration of the variance of front yard setback? Any public comments? No public comments.
Do we want him to present his case?
Well, we just heard it. Did y'all gonna have questions and then we present if he wants to speak, or that's how we've done it before? Do we have a motion to approve the,
I'll make a motion that we accept planning commission's recommendation and grant the variance for front setback requirements at 7310 Melody Drive.
we have a motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Elbin. Any discussion starting with Councilman Elbin?
No discussion.
Councilman College?
No comments.
Councilman Gilat?
No comment.
Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman George?
No comment.
We have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman Elbin. All in favor? Motion carries. You got the planning commission's recommendations, so go ahead, Mr. Melton. You're welcome. Number 4, good luck and congratulations on y'all's new baby. We wish y'all the best.
Don't forget to get your permits, though.
Yeah. Permits, Mr. Ankerson's office, Ms. Bang will be glad to take care of it.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. That brings us to business agenda item number 4, consideration of a special exception that would allow the occupancy of an existing mobile home in a R1 low-density, single-family residential zoning district located at 7212 Homo Grace Road, Gautier, Mississippi, GPC number 23-18-SE by Mr. Ankerson, our planning director.
Yes, sir, Mayor. The planning department has received this request from Amy Clifford for a special exception that would allow occupancy of an existing mobile home in an R1 low-density, single-family residential district located at 7212 Homo Grace Road. The application fee of $250 is paid on April 13, 2023, and all public notice requirements have been met. Some background on the property, some general features. It's approximately 1 acre. There is existing potable water and wastewater services available. The surrounding zoning is R1 low-density, single-family residential, and the comprehensive plan's future land use designation is very low-density residential. I've included the review criteria for a special exception in your packet as outlined in section 4.16.4 of the Unified Development Ordinance, and also the definition of hardship for your review. Upon hearing this case, the Planning Commission recommends the City Council approve the special exception as presented, as it meets all criteria for approval required by the Unified Development Ordinance. So the City Council may approve the special exception with changes, or deny the special exception. I've included the excerpt from the meeting once again in the complete packet. We'll also say that the applicant may not be here tonight. She did call and say that she had a medical procedure and she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to make it to the meeting tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ankerson. Do we have any public comments on business agenda item number 4 only? Any public comments? No. Do we have a motion by council to accept the planning commission's recommendation to consider of a special exception that would allow the occupancy of an existing mobile home in the R1 low-density, single-family residential zoning district located at 7212 Homo Grace Road, Gautier, Mississippi, GPC number 23-18-SE, PID number 85700292000.
I'll make a motion that we approve planning commission's recommendation and grant the special exception.
We have a motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman George. Any discussion? Starting with Councilman Elbin.
No discussion.
Councilman College.
Yes, I do have a couple of questions. I understand the applicant isn't here, but just so that way we're not setting a specific precedent in this situation here. It's my understanding that the owner of this property has been in the family for some odd 30 years or so.
Yes, sir.
And the manufactured home is actually in pretty decent shape altogether. Maintained it has stayed in the family the entire time. The location is located at is kind of, you can't really locate it from a main thoroughfare. It's on large acreage and stuff, so I just want to make sure so that way we don't, like I said, set a precedent. I mean, this is R1. That structure was there prior to actually the city of Gautier annexing the Hickory Hill area, Martin Bluff community, and then also was there when it was rezoned. And I think the one excerpt in there was that it was rezoned comprehensively in 2010. Actually, it was comprehensively rezoned in the 2005-2009 administration when they did a comprehensive rezoning for that entire area. So that's the only comments I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman College. Councilman Gilat.
No comment.
Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman George?
No comment.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion by Councilman College, a second by Councilman George. All in favor? Motion carries. Mr. Ankerson, you'll have your staff contact her in the morning. Thank you.
Let's make sure they get whatever outstanding items they may have to get it up to code. I think it already pretty much is, but the skirting, I think there's some skirting that needs to go around and so forth. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to business agenda item number 5. It's approval of the docket of claims. They've already been presented to us by our city clerk and deputy clerk. They've been uploaded to the website attached to the agenda, so there is no presentation. It's already been done by our city clerk and deputy clerk. Do we have any public comments on business agenda item number 5 only? Do we have a motion from council?
Make a motion, we approve the docket of claims provided that all entries thereon are true, correct, properly entered, and not fraudulent.
We have a motion by Councilman College. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilman Gilat. Any discussion starting with Councilman Elvin?
No discussion.
Councilman College?
No comment.
Councilman Gilat?
No comment.
Councilman Jackson?
No comment.
Councilman George?
No comment.
All in favor? Motion carries. That brings us to our consent agenda. They're approved in one motion unless somebody wants to pull one. One is approval of minutes from the regular council meeting held May 2nd, 2023. 2, authorization to enter into a grant sub-award agreement with the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality for the Mississippi Municipality and County Water Infrastructure Grant Program for funding related to Highway 90 sanitary sewer and water lines, Singing River Mall project. 3, authorization to submit an application to the Mississippi Development Authority for FY 2024 Tourism Development Grant Program. 4, approval of a request submitted by Gautier High School to have a fireworks show after graduation on Thursday, May 25th, 2023 at the Von Wallace Stadium. Does anybody want to pull one? If not, do we have a motion to approve 1 through 4?
So moved.
Have a motion by Councilman Gilat. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman College. All in favor? Motion carries. That brings us to our study agenda. The first up is citizen comments. You have 3 minutes to speak. You come here, state your first and last name and address. We're all going to conduct in a civil manner. No clapping, hoorahing, or nothing. Booing after every comment. By ordinance, we can only be here for 30 minutes. So we can't stay here that long for citizen comments, just so everybody knows. So if you're going to sort of duplicate what somebody's already said, maybe just state your name, address, and what somebody already said. Okay, go ahead.
Well, just also, we got 3
Oh, we
minutes.
got 3 minutes, a
When there's
timer.
1 minute left, I'm gonna hold this up. That means you got 1 minute left.
My name is Larry Jones. I'm a new member of the community. I'm building a house over at 2808 Shell Lane Boulevard. I come here today to call for the resignation of Officer Reagan Hill. On April 25th, I was out in my yard, cleaning my yard, when a citizen of the community over in Shell Lane came by. This was his 5th time. His name is Charles Stevenson Amore Jr. I called, he was 4 times prior to that, he was calling the neighbors and stuff. On April 4th, was I never.
Do not use that word in this room, please, ever again. I do not like that word. That is a dirty word. And here,
But
no, we got on to Ms. Shepherd and she didn't say it. We ain't using that language in this room. Now go ahead.
all I'm trying to make sure, you want to know what he said.
I didn't ask what he said.
But in order for me to explain the case, that's what I was doing. Okay, when he used, called me out of my name, while I was cleaning up my yard. He then turned around and jumped out of his truck, ran on my yard, told me he gonna blow my brains out because, quote unquote, you don't have no right to be living over here. So, I told him to get off my property, on trespassing on my property. He jumped back in his car, he called the police. The police came out there with Reagan Hill and Sergeant Everson. They came out, they then ran over to him, drove up to him. Hill was first in his cruiser. Sergeant Everson came up behind him. They didn't talk to him first, came over to me, asked me for my driver's license. He was there, took my driver's license, I gave it to him, and took it over and showed it to Moya, Charles Moya. They didn't, because my truck was parked, I had my truck parked on the side of my car. I was going to face it south. I was just throwing some trash going to my truck from my yard. I only had been there about like 15 minutes, maybe less than that, but before I can do that, he can turn around and they left. So all we here for today is I talked to the captain from the 20, Captain Allman, and I'm waiting on them to give me a decision.
Hold on one second. No speaking while other people are speaking, please, in the chamber, because we cannot hear him because of the background noise and the Facebook Live, it interferes. So please, if you're not up here speaking, let's hold it down until it's time.
Okay, I'm gonna make this brief. So I'm waiting on, I'm calling to the Gautier Police Department. I haven't got no more answers from Captain. He's supposed to be giving me the information from the body cam, but he said he don't know if something's wrong with the body cam.
No, we have it.
Okay, well, I need to see those. I'll try to get a copy of why that, because I got to do something about him filing this false police report and making Moye a victim when I'm just in my yard cleaning over here. So I will be back on the 6th.
Your 3 minutes is
Well, I
out.
mean,
Okay.
I gave a protection 30 because of the interruption. and so forth, so.
Okay, so I will be back to council on the 6th. If police department don't do anything about him filing this false police report, then I'll go from there. So I just want to make the city council aware of what's going on.
Okay, and Mr. Jones, if you would, we will have our city manager reach out to you and our police chief, because this is a employee issue and they do not report to the board. They, in our form of government, report to the city manager. Okay?
Mr. Mayor, if I can,
Yeah.
we reviewed the body cam footage that the claims against Officer Gill are false. He did not do anything appropriate, so.
Okay.
He didn't do anything. We'll address that. You said he didn't do anything.
We'll let Ms.
So we'll-
Yancey, we'll have her contact you, okay? That's why you put your information there.
Okay.
My
State
name
your
is
name.
Della Moore. I live at 1920 Westgate Parkway. I'm here because of the racist statement was on Wesley Anderson Facebook page. His lawyer represented him the last council meeting, and the storyboard that he presented was just an insult to us. He have not proven his innocence. And from my understanding, if he does not prove his innocence, you guys are going to ask him to resign. And I'm here tonight to make sure that you ask him to resign. We do not want him in my ward. I'm a business owner and he is causing me harm. My family members do not want to come because of Rusty Anderson Facebook post. It's not just here in Gautier, it's in lots of places. So you guys need to honor the citizen of Gautier to ask him to resign. Thank you.
No, we're not having all. Thank you for speaking this morning. Next.
How's it going? My name is Cyrus the Most, 5621 Piccadilly. I came here initially to talk to Rusty to his face-to-face, but evidently had a meeting more important than his citizens. Now, while I was here last time, I made the council's attention that I was assaulted by the code officer. As I got here in preparation to address Mr. Anderson, the code officer that assaulted me during this meeting that we're in now, sat behind me right there, breathed on the back of my neck, and said, "Hey, how's it going, Cyrus?" I have 3 charges against him right now. That is a form of intimidation of the citizen. The next thing I would say, when a citizen comes up here for a public comment, they have to put their address into the internet to say something. That's a form of suppressing our voice. We can verify our ID out there when we sign. We should not have to give the public that, because what happens is retaliation is why I'm here. Mr. Jackson, when I told you my concern about the Mark Love project, I've had retaliation ever since. It came with false code enforcement, it came with assault, and now it just came with intimidation, not only in here, but in another store as well. And all I'm saying, I have a video right now of what happened in your courtroom in front of everybody. When it happened, Mr. Jackson, I brought it to your attention. You knew this happened. I don't mean to be, I apologize if I feel forceful. But reality is we're citizens of this city. We're minorities. We're business owners. Delaware, Mowar, you know how much property they own?
Mr. Remoter, you're addressing the board and not the
And we're
citizens.
treated like garbage. We are treated, and they don't treat us like that, Casey. When you leave the room, it's the same way for you. So I'm gonna leave like this. I came here to address Mr. Anderson that wasn't man enough to stand up here and talk to his constituents. So what I came here to do is say, in return, that I was just assaulted right now. I have a video if any one of you would like to view it. Have a good evening. That's 2 videos of assault.
No, okay, if we continue to clap, I'm gonna ask the officers to remove you from the meeting. I've asked nicely, and I'm not gonna continue to repeat myself throughout the rest of the meeting.
We can clap when
And
they
then,
take a picture.
Mr. Remoter,
Somebody makes a comment.
Mr. Remoter,
This is freedom of speech.
we don't have to allow by ordinance, we don't have to allow public comments. We do it because we want to hear from the citizens. So with that comment, we listen to the citizens. So
Well, y'all haven't listened to me for a year and a half.
our city attorney, Mr. Remoter, has reached out, like we told you at the last meeting, and your attorney has not responded. So I want you to know we have reached out. Okay.
During the meeting to say that I was assaulted in your meeting, and if I would be more involved in who assaulted you. Oh, the officer you have assault charges on assaulted you right now? Somebody go inspect that.
Our
That's what I would
attorney,
be doing if I governed the county, but right now you're flustered because the minorities are up here and we're taking a stand. And
We're
this
not
is the first time we're
flustered.
taking a stand together to say that the city of Gautier treats minorities like garbage. Everybody has a story. Because if we don't raise our voice and we don't talk
Sir.
together, we're not heard. So the next time they
Cyrus.
Curly Clark, you tell them to lower their voice.
Cyrus,
Each person sign up. Every time.
Cyrus.
The 3 minutes is up. You bring.
escort him out. Escort him out of my meeting. Not happening in the city of Gautier. We allow everybody to speak and we listen. So we are not getting out of control like that. Next.
Greetings, Mayor, Councilman. My name is Greg Canada, and my address is 1453 Route Gentile. Again, that's something I wanted to talk to Mr. Anderson because I'm in Ward 4. And it's a complaint about we have a storm sewer issues as far as there's no guards on it. The gap is about 14 inches in height. Is it okay to present this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's right on the corner of 1453 Route Gentilly. And we've asked before, a year and a half ago, could something be done? Because it's unsafe. It's
Mr. Kennedy, can you, when you're done showing us, do you need that back?
No, I do not.
Can you give that, set it over there with Mr. Ankerson so he can give it to Public Works?
Right.
Thank you.
So we like to have some type of work done over there. And there's a couple more, but that is the worst one. And the thing is, if you, I know it may not be in the budget for this year, but because someone tell me, how can we get that into the budget? I mean, do I have to get a scope, or do you guys have to get a scope? Because this has been going on, and it's unsafe, man. It is ugly. It don't look right. You got weeds growing out of there. You know, kids can really crawl in there and go in through that pipeline if they're adventurous. You know, back nowadays, yes, we did stuff like that, but kids don't play outside as much as they used to. But it's still unsafe. Also, I have another small comment is that I live on the Seuss Bayou, and I was told again by Rusty that someone's supposed to come out there and dredge. And one of his comments to myself and my neighbor is that that's why we're not going to have you guys come out here and dredge the Seuss back there behind the house. You know, he's not here to represent himself, but still, that's something, that was a complaint that was about a year and a half ago. And I just want to know, how can we get that situated done? When would they come back out and do some more dredging out there?
I can actually respond to that.
Yeah, because there's an issue right now with getting a spoil spot, but Councilman College can address it because we have it going on all over the city
Yeah,
and
with-
county right now.
With regards to your curb inlet, of course, they're going to get together with Public Works and determine what we need to do to solve that issue for you. Regarding dredging, unfortunately, it's a long, drawn-out process. The county's been doing it. They're actually procuring BMA to go ahead and do the surveying and get the permitting in place through the Army Corps of Engineer. And they've got, I think, 2 bayous on this next round, but there's about a dozen bayous that they're going to be working on. And what I can do is I've got an overall map, we can get an overall map of those areas. If you want to, after the meeting, give me your number and I'll contact you with that map and we can go over and make sure that your area that you're talking about is
On that list.
is in on that list. Yes.
That'd be great. You said a dozen, so it could be a couple of years there now.
Yeah, well, they try to do several at a time, but because of the disposal, upland disposal sites and finding the right areas and so forth, it's better to do that than try to do, and also with cost. I mean, if you're gonna try to do 30 bayous, the county that pays for it doesn't have that kind of funds to do it all at one time, so they kind of piecemeal it in there and
Okay,
stuff
just
like
one
that.
question.
Yeah.
How many bayous do they have left to do?
Oh, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Okay.
But we're finally, I mean, we had some done about 2 years ago. That was about half a dozen, and we've got this other one that's gonna be almost a dozen this time around, so.
So as long as we can get it done.
Yes.
I give you my contact.
And your bayou is on the list.
It is.
Sioux Bayou is
I
on the
know, I
list.
just wanna make sure it extends to where he lives. I don't know where on
Yeah,
Sioux
I'm
Bayou.
at the bulkhead.
Yeah, you're by up there where we did the work,
Right, exactly.
the drainage outlet.
Right,
It's
right,
something.
right. All right, thank you for
You're welcome. And they'll put in a work order also for you for the drainage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Father, strength in me to say, no. Good afternoon, Gautier. I'm Kevin Smith, live 5625 Tucker Court, vet, in zone. I'm here by Rusty Anderson. You represented evidence, but you don't know if he's done this to me too. He harassed me. The city of Gautier did. With the accusation that there was an abandoned truck on the side of my house, which wasn't abandoned, of course. Got a $2,000 motor in it, but I would crank for Ms. Anderson when it came out. I cranked for him because I'd gone by the city barn out there and taken a picture of what some abandoned vehicles look like. And also provided Mr. Anderson with a copy of the definition of an abandoned vehicle is. And he offered to get out of my yard. Now, Casey, I know you personally. I'm the vet that called you when he was trying to deal with his PTSD and his finances. Spoken to Ms. Mona and Rusty as well. So that stigmatism that Rusty's been accused of, it's over, Gautier. And it's not just Rusty. So, with this moment, I'll tell you that I'm a Gautier resident of 10 years. I met Mr. Anderson before. I told you that. I told you it was about a truck. I was in my yard. And I'm in the opinion that there are good people and there are bad people everywhere. Point blank. With one, every day, either good or bad, whether we dress in the morning in front of a judge's uniform, bash. There is no excuse for the type of person we are when we can't brush our teeth with our eyes open. Now, you've been presented with the proof, and I don't know what you're gonna do, guys. I don't. But I look forward to it when it comes time to vote. Because if you are co-signing Mr. Anderson's behavior or his excuse, or the fact that he even presented himself today, to Uber his wife home from the airport, there's no way I would let you make these accusations against me and not show up. So the bottom line is this: we are who we are before we get dressed in line, and stop hiding behind your jobs and your uniforms. There's no way that I can pay your salary and all of that. If you said what Russell said, I wouldn't do it. I'm a taxpayer. I'm not ready.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Next. Ms. Scruggs.
Hi.
How are you, Ms. Scruggs?
Yes, Scruggs. I live at 812 Royce Road, and I'm here for the citizens of our neighborhood to ask for your help with saving our neighborhood before it becomes a place that nobody wants to
You
live.
said 1812 Roy's Road.
812.
Yeah, 812 Roy's Road.
812 Royce Road. Yes, and the home in question, the Casey home, brings with it a lot of trouble, not just the code issue, in which I'm just curious as to who went in the side of the home to decide if it was livable, because It isn't, it has holes in the floor and the ceilings. The pilings are not stable. It's really not livable for anyone. Maybe a rodent, maybe. My husband has lived in 3 homes in this neighborhood. We're in the 3rd. We built it 8 years ago. This is gonna be our forever home. But people like her, because she's allowed so much trash and trouble and theft in our neighborhood. And we just need your help with removing them as much as possible in any way you can. She's not the homeowner. The house is in an estate where her mother passed away. And there is not an executor at all, I researched. No taxes have been paid on this home since 2020, 2021, 2022, no taxes. She is not a tax-paying citizen, we are. My husband supports the city of Gautier more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And to know that we may be considering moving because of this, I lay at night in bed, I hear one sound, and I grab my iPad and I look at our cameras. Because the traffic, the foot traffic in front of our home, if I showed you the footage of people staring at our cameras, one gentleman even decided to use the restroom right out by my mailbox while looking up at my camera, and I have that on camera as well. That house is where they visit by foot or by car, and they stay there sometimes, and they come through our neighborhood, and many people in our neighborhood have had theft from them, being in our neighborhood. I'm sorry, what's up with the one thing?
You only got 1 minute left to speak. You were outside when we announced, so you only have 3 minutes, so you got 1 minute left.
Thank y'all for your time. There's a lot more I could say, but obviously I don't have that kind of time. But just thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz. Next, Mr. Malone. Oh, you okay? Don't. Pastor Hudson.
Somebody keep the people, you're gonna do 30 minutes?
30 minutes, it's 30 minutes.
How many people?
My name is Wardell Stevenson, 4968 Pennington Drive. My concern is with Rusty also. Don't know Mr. Rusty personally, but I've read what was put on Facebook. I'm also a resident of Ward 4. Now, I've been a resident of Ward 4 for 45 years. Okay, and I was hoping he'd be here because the last time he was here, he held his head down quite a bit. You know, he didn't look at the public. I want to know who my councilman is. In the last meeting, Mayor Vaughn, you stated that the evidence was inconclusive for this. And I agree with that what was presented last couple weeks ago, to me, that was insufficient evidence to show that what was done, it wasn't him. And I think what was presented earlier identifies that. Also, I would like to see a councilman that's for everybody, you know, not just people are making comments. It was insulting to hear and see what I saw on this video. I'm not a face-to-face, but it's been out there. And I've been in this city for a long time. I've coached baseball. I've worked with the city for 10 years. But we need city councilmen that's going to represent all people, not just some people, and make posters out there that's actually insulting. And he hasn't proved himself. So I was hoping that he would be here because I wanted to see him face to face. But thank you.
Thank you for coming. Next. Ms. Butler, how are you?
I'm good, honey.
Are you on the sign-in list?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here on behalf of Warriors Road neighborhood as well. I want to cut through the chase on the code violations. There's drug activity in that house. There was a resident was clearly high, sitting here. The police officers had to go over to her. She was sleeping. We requested more police presence. We don't see it. The only thing we see is a police officer stakes on Martin Bluff Elementary facing Martin Bluff Road. If you're gonna sit there, why not sit right across from the house and monitor the activity coming in and out? They write tickets on Martin Bluff rather than patrolling our neighborhood. We call the police officers when there are people in the neighborhood. They don't come. Then when they come, or if they report a theft, they're asked to go to the station and make a report. Then when you call and say, wait a minute, come to the station, why not come and investigate? Oh, it was a miscommunication. We've had very many miscommunications. My husband is a retired police officer, I'm sure you know. There are ways to handle this. I don't understand why something can't be done about the drug activity. There's constant fires, there's smells. We've reported and reported and reported. Let's please do something. It's across the street from the school. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Mullen.
City Council. One of the things we might have to police to stop sleeping in the ballpark down where I was going to park to walk my dogs, and the police know sleeping in the car up there.
Mr. Malone, name and address, please.
My name is Walt Malone, I live at 1313 Hickory Hill Drive. The grass cutting up in our area, they got some young kids working, doing it, trying to do the best they can. They need better supervision. They're unsafe in their activities. Along my area where I live, right on Hickory Hill and Martin Bluff. They cut the city grass and threw it toward my yard, or they don't cut, they leave part of it undone. So I gotta go back and cut the city's part too, because it makes the whole area look terrible. They need better supervision. Those young guys cut grass up there. You can go by my yard right now and see over this left half part of the street up there. The open ditches that we have along Martin Bluff, put a nice sidewalk in. And now people can walk to the Dollar General, but you gotta walk out in the street off the sidewalk when it rains because the sidewalk is flooded. And I talked to the guy when he was putting it in. I told him, I said, hey, you're below grade there. So what did they do? They went and put a drain down from that to try to drain it, and the drain doesn't drain anything. On the corner of Hickory Hill and Martin Bluff, that's flooded, and that whole, both sides of the street are flooded when it rains on Hickory Hill and Martin Bluff. When you turn off the Martin Bluff on Hickory Hill, both sides are flooded. And I'm not talking about a little flood. It's up into my yard, and it's up on the guy's property across the street from me. That's ridiculous. They put the lower, you couldn't even set the drain properly. And I talked to the engineer, an engineering firm, and y'all gave me a lot of work to. When they went out there, I told them, I said, hey, I said, well, where don't y'all? Well, we'll put a drain down lower and catch it. You guys are paying for nothing on the engineering services.
Mr. Malone, you got one more minute.
Those are the main two issues that I had.
I want to hear you talk about ballparks before you leave. You're going down your list. I was just seeing if that was on there.
Well, there's a lot of activity that goes on at the ballpark. And I'm still sort of disappointed that we have no recreation for our children. Zero. We pay taxes here. but we have zero recreation for children in Hickory Hill. How could that be?
Well, we're working on it.
Well, don't work on it, because the kids gonna be going up and going off to school.
Well, hopefully
The
not.
old people still gonna be there with the kids. We got to come up with a plan, and we need to get with the community, and it needs to be a community involved plan. Come up with some way of giving kids something other than, that's why we have crime, drugs, and all this stuff. The kids don't have anything to do. There's no
That's
recreation
right.
from time to powers all there.
Okay, Mr. Malone, thank you. You have a good night.
You too now.
Tell Miss Malone I said, hey, I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Okay, I see her now. Go ahead, sir.
Council, citizen, was called on us. I'm not from Ward 4.
Yes, state your address, Mr. Donaldson. State your address, please. Okay.
Address 3105 Neptune Drive, Gautier. And I started to write some stuff down, but no, I want to talk from the heart. I just have a couple of things I want to say, and I have a couple of questions. I'm not from Ward 4, but I'm here because this is bigger than Ward 4. Right now, the world, not Gautier, not Mississippi, the world is in turmoil. There is no value placed on human life. White people killing white people. Black people killing black people. Brown people killing brown people. So there's just no value put on life. Mr. Anderson may be the nicest man in the world. That don't matter to me. When you say things, or you post things that he haven't proved, you can't say that he did that. That it's like putting out a fire with gasoline. You can't let that happen. You just cannot let it happen. And I heard a lot of conversation the last week or so that that's fine. Let's move on. Let's put this behind us. So they're just gonna let other people get killed. You have elected officials that's doing things they shouldn't do. I repeat, no one have proved that he posted that. But I think the burden is on him to prove that he was hacked. And I think he owed the city of Gautier that fact. If I'm not mistaken, I think you asked him the last meeting that could he tell you how he was communicating with Facebook. Did he do that, Mr. Vaughn?
I don't, his attorney spoke on his behalf, he didn't speak.
And the other thing, if he just, I understand and I believe that he is where he is. But if he just don't show up for the next 3 or 4 meetings, what happens? If he just don't show up?
Nothing can happen to him.
We can't force him.
We
to
can't
resign.
force him to resign and nothing can, yeah, if he don't show up, nobody, but I mean, I don't know if he literally messaged that he was picking his wife up.
Oh, I understand. I have no reason to question where he is.
Right.
But I was just curious that, okay, so that if this guy just don't want to do the right thing, he may just don't show back up. And I don't know what laws or rules that y'all have.
It's been 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
My name is Lorenzo Fuller, 1436 Rudy Common. The property that Greg Kennedy was talking about is my property. I have a nice piece of waterfront property out there, and I've been talking to Rusty for 2, maybe 3 years about this piece of property. They came out, they dug a 40-foot wide hole through my property. Now I'm having erosions. The water was 6 feet deep, now it's 2 feet. And I just need the city of Gautier to know Rusty did not return none of my phone calls. He don't come see how I'm doing. None of that. And I voted for Rusty. I did. Because he knocked on my door and told me he was a fair man. But yet, every time I call him to do something, he always give me a no answer. I call you Casey, you know, call you Mr. Jackson. Y'all saw my property. I don't even have the love for it that I had. Because of the fact
I can't fish in the water because it's so low. When I used to take my grandkids out there and fish, catch nice fish, just destroy a nice piece of property because they wouldn't listen. I need y'all help. That's future property to my grandkids, their children that can enjoy the property. So I wish y'all to look into some of what the people are saying. We ain't just coming here just to say something. We coming because we need y'all help. We voted for you city officials. I voted for you, Case. We need y'all to do something. Don't just hear what we're saying. Make some changes and let us see it. I'm a taxpayer. I own 4 pieces of property in that community, Sioux Bayou. So I pay a lot of taxes in this city. And I'm looking for some results. Something needs to be done about Rusty Anderson. What? I don't know. But something needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller. And Ramona, will y'all make sure that's the work order put in on Clearwater? Ms. Ritchie.
Hi, y'all. I'm Regina Slay. I live at 5725 Dead River Road. This is in regards to the Roy's Road and nuisance that we have going on with the drug trafficking and the stealing and everything else that's going on out there. My child is 14 years old and can't even walk the neighborhood because we have so much traffic on bikes, on walking, on a nuisance going through this other house on Roy's Road just as well. I carry a gun. Yes, I do. Everywhere I go. Because I tell you what, if something happens to me or him, something's going to be done. And I don't want it to be me. I want it to be y'all taken care of. Okay? Sorry. But thank you.
You will. Thank you, Ms. Regina.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
My name's Patrick Brown. I live at 5601 Dead River Road. This is the first one of these I've been to, so I spoke out of turn. I apologize.
It's fine.
But I looked it up before I came here. We have the mayor, council, form of government in our city. We have the mayor, we have the council, we have the chief of police, city manager. Something needs to be done in our neighborhood about these stray dogs that are running around killing people's pets. And it's reported to your animal control officer. They explain to them and they describe exactly what is in your statute, defining a vicious animal. The animal control officer tells them, well, it happens at night. We don't work at night. I have to think between all of y'all. Y'all figure out a way to get somebody's schedule changed where somebody is out there at night and we know it's going on at night. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
All right, I will be at most of these meetings in the future.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. And if you see that stray dog, you make sure to continue to call 497-2486 and notify them, and they will come. Even if animal control's not on, the police officers on duty will respond. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
My name is Kenneth Truitt. I live 5005 Deerfield, Westgate, Ward 4. Okay? And I've been resident at that same house 45 years this year. And I like to say it's good for the good of the community. Gautier is a diverse community. It's a melting pot now. You can look around, we got a melting pot. It's almost 50-50, minority, majority, almost. We need a good relationship for our community to have positive growth. You can look at Diamondville, every time you turn around, putting up a business, a mall or something. We need the tax base to come in here. We need to show people that we are a bedroom, positive community where people can bring their kids in, send them to school, don't have to worry about all this bickering and stuff about violence and all that. Our community is biracial, in business, providing banking services, and working relationships. Also, biracial in social, personal, and family life. My future son-in-law is going to be a Caucasian. My future daughter-in-law might be a Caucasian. Okay? We do not need or want negative statements from our representatives who represent us. I'm 70 years old. I was a public safety officer 35 years. I was a captain in the fire department. I was incident commander, hazardous materials technician, EMT, road rescue. As an incident commander, when I was faced with a problem, I own that problem. Rusty Bell, I said Rusty Bell, so that's another friend of mine. Rusty Anderson was faced with a problem. He should have owned that problem and dealt with it. The lawyer he had to come in here, I would have wanted my money back. I'm out of it. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Mr. Truitt. And you told that wonderful daughter and classmate of mine, I said hello.
My name is Charles Moore. I live at 1920 Westgate Parkway. I think Brother Hudson and Reverend Hudson and Brother Pippin have said everything. They done showed y'all the picture and everything. All I want to know is he needs to step down. Rusty Anderson needs to step down. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Good.
My name is Charlie Bond. I live on 5571 Dead River Road. My comments is in reference to 1301 George Road property. So really, we've been using the code department as our middleman. It's not really a code issue. I think we need to use the city attorney. We need to do some stuff because I think they're kind of squat. There's no estate. The taxes, if there was an estate, the taxes would be paid up to date. You know, it would be taken care of. So evidently, there's a problem with people living there. They probably don't need to be there. And then, like some of the other neighborhood members are saying, I don't know what's going on, but you look at the cameras, but between 12 o'clock at night and 4 in the morning, man, Roy's Road is happening. Y'all need something, come on by.
Or just look on our Facebook page.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is too, and actually the police have actually been over there and done some things, and I think what they're really doing is hiding shit in the woods, and they go do their deals down at fish camp. Because that's why they're always going down there. That's why all that traffic is going to the fish camp, which fish camp, I mean, that's kind of public service to all the community members, documentation, like fish camp's good. You know, it's just something associated with the people who know trying. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Bond. State your name and address.
Daniel Sullivan, 822 Van Circle. I just wanted to introduce myself because I'm part of this, and it's only me and my daughter at that house. My daughter's 5. I mean, if it wasn't for the people that we have to help us, I mean, I would be terrified to sleep at night. So, I mean, I know that y'all are doing all y'all can, and y'all hands are tied. Maybe we can figure out a way to get together and actually get them out of here. Because, you know, you can't walk and drink, it's public drunk. Can we not arrest them for being high and walking down the road? I mean, I'm sure they have something on them. I mean, in their cars, whatever.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Brad Blackman, 724 St. Amos. When you see a committee come together like this, like here, just for a second, with Brad stuff, we appreciate this and this outside box thinking, but that's the end of it. So these folks come in one, there's only a few ways this goes, so we need y'all's help.
Thank you for coming, bro.
My name's Christine Allen. I live at 5609 Denver Drive. I'm kind of
the first house, when you turn onto Dead River, I'm the first house there. I'm a single parent. I have a teenage daughter who's a latchkey kid, who is alone during the day. As soon as she gets off the bus, I'm a worker. I'm in healthcare. I can't be there 100% of the time. When we were leaving my home to come here tonight, there is a man on a bike, shirtless, tattooed up, driving his bike straight down into our neighborhood. He knew we would be here. He knew it. This is prime time. Everybody in the neighborhood is here asking your help. And they're hitting our homes. There's people that are turning doorknobs when people are in their homes, broad daylight. I've had to wrap barbed wire and prickly thorns around my back fence and put trees down, cut them out of my yard and put trees down to protect my back gate. I've had my friends' animals killed this week from the dogs that they let loose all night long. I mean, there's 5, 6 dogs that just run rampant through our neighborhood, killing our animals at night, coming and waking us up 2 o'clock in the morning because they're fighting with our dogs at the fence, trying to get to us. I love my neighborhood. I love it. It is the Joan Cleaver Leave It to Beaver neighborhood until now. That house needs to be wiped off the face of Gautier. The house down from it on Roy's Road A, it needs to be done the same. I've had people come out of that home who are just driving down in a golf cart, come out screaming at me and my daughter, accusing us of things with sticks. I've called the cops on people out of that 2-story home on stilts as people were dropping their kids off. I've had to call the cops for people out in the middle of the road on some kind of drugs, waving around golf clubs and screaming profanities as the little kids get dropped off. That is not okay. Being in healthcare, I'm in home health and I run all over Gautier. My neighborhood's probably more feared for me to go out walking around in the neighborhood than anywhere else that I've been in Gautier. And I go some pretty rough places. We beg you to do something. And if it's not code enforcement to get that place shut down, find a reason to help us because we are in the middle of a complete disaster. We got kids that can't even walk. I can't even walk in my neighborhood without fear of an animal coming after me or a person hitting me in the head or being in the woods across the street from my house, which is where they were squatting for quite some time. We've had neighbors have to run people out of woods all over our neighborhood. It's not safe. So you've known me for a very long time.
And I'm in your neighborhood, so I'm well aware of everything y'all are saying.
If we can do anything to help, especially to protect all those little kids that are sitting at that playground, that are watching that house while they're out there playing, I appreciate the help.
Thank you.
I am Renzo Duckworth, 1909 Prince George Drive. I'm here for, okay, I heard many patients say that if you guys can't force Rusty Anderson to resign, then okay, what would be the next step for that to be?
He was asking a question.
Yeah, I'm asking a question.
Yeah, we can't, all we can do is ask him. We can't make him. Nobody can, he's not, even if he was charged with a felony crime, he can still sit on this council until proven guilty. So it's up to him and his actions. We've already stated how we felt in the press release and requested what we requested as a board. We all signed the press release. And so, as we stated before, you know, Mr. Anderson, that is his call, what he does, and listens to the citizens. But we can't force nobody or, you know, we only know what you've been told and shown. We've got the same info y'all received, so nothing more and nothing less.
Yeah, I remember the last.
And we still feel the same way as our press release, and we will refer everybody for comments on that topic to our previous press releases. They've not changed.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to attend this meeting on my birthday too.
Well, happy birthday. And thank you for coming. And now you're 21, so now you can have fun.
No, within reason.
That's a long time ago.
Any other citizen comments? Any other citizen? Okay. That brings us to our council comments. It's the second meeting of the month, so we will start with Councilman Elvin.
This is in reference to the residents on Roy's Road and Dead River Road. That house has been a problem ever since I was on patrol. And I would enlist the police department and code enforcement, do whatever they can to help close that thing down. I thought it had been shut down by now because it's been a problem a long time. I've seen the videos, the scrubs are put up, and the activity that goes on at nighttime, so I would just enlist the assistance from the law enforcement side and code enforcement to assist them as much as possible. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Elvin. Councilman College.
Just to piggyback on what Councilman Elvin said is, at the same time, I'm certain there are some things going behind the scenes as far as Jackson County Narcotics Task Force and those of nature. So I understand things are not happening as quickly or near as quickly as I would like, but please understand that we are taking in everything that you're saying. We appreciate you coming here and speaking to us and letting us know as a community how you feel. And that just reinforces what our code enforcement, our police department is doing and working with Jackson County to make sure we get this area cleaned up.
Thank you, Councilman College. Councilman Gilat?
Is there anybody left here from the Roy's Road area?
Yes, there is.
Okay, a couple of people. I've visited that neighborhood many a time. My youngest son lived there across from the blonde was in here for many years, and it was a good neighborhood back then. I am surprised to hear what is going on in there now. I do hope that we can ask our police department to do something in that particular area. We've tabled the abatement until next week, and you people, I'm sure y'all will be back in here to find out what happens. But believe me, when I say it, we are not going to let that continue. Something has to happen. For all of you people that came in here for making comments concerning Ward 4 Councilman Anderson, I take everything that you people believe to heart, okay? I was a mayor in this town for 4 years. I enjoyed it. I've been in this town for 37 years. I do hope that things do work out. President Mayor said we have asked for resignation. Again, the law is nothing we can do if Councilman Anderson doesn't resign. If anybody has any way to either prove or disprove that Facebook post, okay, in black and white, and you want to present it to this council, we will be willing to listen. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman Gilat. Councilman Jackson.
Yes, I want to first begin to thank the citizens of United Gautier for your professionalism. You did a great job. You explained well. Your presentation was well. You showed a lot of evidence and of how to deal with the proving of a post. You did a great job. I just want to commend you for that and for your actions. And I also want to say this, you know, because I want to give respect to the NAACP president because he was disrespected here, and I want to make sure he understands that the city of Gautier do not tolerate the disrespect. Because when Ms. Shepherd got up and spoke, and I wish she was here because I like to talk to a person one-on-one, and you know, when she got up and spoke, she looked back at our NAACP president and said, I don't mean any harm. Of course, when somebody said, I don't mean any harm, they actually mean harm. So, you know, I just want you to know that this council board have respect for you. You're a man, and we respect you as a man. And I apologize for the action of one of the citizens that came here and looked at you and gave you this disrespect, because that is not the moral action of the city of Gautier. I think that's pretty much all I have. I hope that we move forward and begin the progress, and I'm hoping that Councilman Anderson is watching this today and seeing the concerns of the citizens, knowing that they're not acting out of turn, they're not being disrespectful to you. They are sharing their concerns with respect. And you know, this has really impacted my life because, you know, growing up young, when you're young and you're growing up, you normally just act hostile. When someone meets you with hostility, you act hostile. This is showing me that we can be professional and address an issue and push hard towards getting something done. Let's see what else. Mr. Pittman, he did a very professional job. I appreciate the Reverend here. He did a very professional job at addressing this issue. And to Roy Road, I hear you, and I mean it's touching. It really is. You know, to have to deal with circumstances like that on a daily basis right next door to you, it is touching. I understand that clearly. Because I've been there, done that. I understand how it feels. I've lived in that life, you know. So I know your concerns. What else? I believe that's all I have. Well, I have one other thing. Because I know it's a lot of viewers that are watching, and it's not enough young African Americans in here. But I know you're watching. I want you to look at sometimes when people post a negative post, because we got to build ourselves up as a people. When someone put out a negative post, such as when the post said, because I know it's allegedly, so when one put out a post saying, let them kill themselves and we clean it up afterwards. So I'm really not concerned about the N-word, just that. My concern was that. That's my major concern of that. When they make a post, I want you to understand how a person feel about you. So when you look at one another, you should look at one another with pride, knowing that we shouldn't look at each other as murderers to kill one another, that we should see what people think about you and make progress in our own life, because we can't sit here and allow someone to say to us, let them kill themselves, while we sitting here killing each other. And they're promoting for us to kill ourselves. So I'm close. I'm not gonna get into. I'm gonna close on it. So you know, I just want young African American men to realize that, so that we can make progress in our community. Amen. You know, do more community reach out to our youth, so that we can make progress in our community. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson. Councilman George.
I think my fellow council has really covered everything that my heart aligns with. And I'm not going to get too into it by getting choked up. So I'm just going to say I have no further comments.
Thank you, Councilman George. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming. I'm sorry that sometimes we have to make decisions to keep our meeting in order, in an orderly fashion, and if people got their feelings hurt or anything, I apologize, but we do have to try to conduct and run the day-to-day business of the city in a fashionable, calm manner. With that being said, I think everybody did a great job tonight. You've all got the voice and have a freedom of speech. You know, as we stated at the last meeting and since, we have no other control than what we've already done. We reflect to the press releases regarding that issue, and it's a councilman. You know, we did not say anybody was guilty. We said if you're not guilty, to prove you were not hacked. And we stand beside our request, and we all sign that, so that's how we feel. it's sad that young children that I have to see, you know, and coming from family, you know, my family has, you know, mixed relationships, and my cousin's children, and I raise a child that is mixed, and I, you know, biracial, and for him to have to listen to the phone calls I get about this topic is heart-wrenching. It's horrible. When I was growing up, this topic, I wasn't raised around. This was a no-no. You heard me say, don't use that word in this building in my presence. We would get our mouth washed out growing up if you use that word. It was like a cuss word. So I apologize that a citizen or anybody might have said that in here to offend anybody, because that is not this council or how we feel. We have a diverse community. I want us to go out and show how diverse we are and show that we all get along. We have a beautiful community, and let's promote Gautier in a positive way instead of a negative. Let's go out there and show what we have and be positive. That's on that topic. On the Roy's Road community, I can sympathize with you. I get calls. Miss Scruggs is not in here. She left. I get calls. When they respond, I'm out there. They send a message at 11:30 midnight. I go. They send one at 1 in the morning. I go. 3 in the morning, Mayor Vaughn goes. I'm out there. I've seen it. I witnessed it. Miss Butler, back in the back, I work with her. I hear it daily. I know. It's not good. It's awful. In my community, I mean, a little young boy last night, mom has to call me. A four-wheeler got stolen. How awful. That's a little boy's. How can somebody steal from that child? That child was crushed last night. I couldn't even sleep knowing somebody came in my community too. So I sympathize, and I'm there with Roy's Road, but I can assure you when I'm there, our police are there. They come behind me, or they've already been there and they've left, but they do respond. They will continue. I had the police chief run it not too long ago. I compared that community's Facebook page with the amount of calls. I had him run the calls. They didn't add up. You have to call the PD. And I understand we've heard some concerns tonight that they've called and they've not responded. They log when they respond, what they do, and everything, so we can keep track of it. We are monitoring, the police chief is aware of it, they're in there. But we also need to remind everybody to call the police department. Don't post to social media first and then call the police department, because they can be gone. I mean, this ain't just on Roy's Road community, this is in any neighborhood in Gautier. The other night, somebody is messaging me about a dog. Okay, have you called the police department? No. Well, call them. Well, they're not going to respond, Mayor. Call them. When you call them, I will then follow up. But you got to call first. Call them first and then call your mayor. Or then call your councilman. Because a lot can happen in a short amount of time. They can be gone. So please call them. They are in there. They're working with the task force. No, they can't tell myself, the council, the city manager, the city attorney, or you all their plan to try to work to address an issue if it's that large of an issue. But they are working on it, but they have to have a plan, and they cannot let their plan be known to us and social media, everybody viewing. As we all state, they know where every camera is in that neighborhood. They are clearly paying attention. The people who are doing the crime is paying attention, and they know every move everybody's making. So we got to be vigilant of our surroundings. If you leave a neighborhood and you see a suspicious vehicle, call the police department and report it. With that, I hope everybody has a great week. Don't forget, the city of Gautier is in 3 high school districts. So we want to wish our, actually 4 Our Gautier Gators, good luck as they graduate. We want to wish our Resurrection Catholic School Eagles good luck. We want to wish the Ocean Springs Greyhound seniors that live in Gautier good luck, and also the Van Cleve High School Bulldogs seniors good luck. If you did not know, all of those high schools are in the city of Gautier's jurisdiction, and we're glad to have all of them. So thank you all. Please like and share our app on social media. If you've not downloaded it, because it gives updated information. A citizen commented earlier on a post about our app to recognize, don't forget it's Police Officer Week. Well, I referred them to look at our agenda because it was on there. So please pay attention to our social media because we are doing good. Sam over here does a great job monitoring all that. So Sam, we thank you and welcome aboard. With that being said, do we have any from our city manager is not here. Mr. Ankerson, do you have anything to say on her behalf? Our city clerk and deputy clerk, Ms. Montgomery, Ms. Dickerson, y'all have anything? Mr. Danos, our city attorney, do you have anything?
Yes, sir.
With that, do we have a motion to adjourn until June the 6th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m.?
So moved.
Have a motion by Goliath. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by College. All in favor? Motion carries. We're adjourned.